jungle. Who wants the smoke? I didn't think so. Use a joke, about to get your ankles broke. Chasing C notes. Chasing C notes. Welcome to the jungle. Who wants the smoke? I ain't think so. Use a joke, about to get your ankles broke. Chasing C notes.
Welcome to Chasing C Notes, a podcast. I'm always joined by my co-host Larry. What's good, Larry?
What's going on, man?
You know what we do? We talk about the NBA and the Boston Celtics. So if you're a Celtics fan, this is the spot. This is the where you want to be at. Larry, we haven't done a recording in a couple of weeks. I know that we were due for March 1st, but then life got in the way. But talk to me, Larry. How are you feeling? How are you feeling about this team? How are you feeling about going forward? Just discuss, Larry.
A lot of changes in the NBA. Celtics remain pretty constant. Trying to see if we can get some wins strung together, and I think this is the time. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, I feel good. I wasn't feeling good at the beginning of the year with the team, but now I think that they turned the page a little bit, so we'll definitely discuss it. So what do we have for this show today? We're going to talk about NBA news. We're going to talk about our February review, our March predictions for this podcast. We're going to have our power rankings. We're going to have our stuck up, stuck down. And then, Larry, Tommy Point. There was a couple of episodes where I totally, and this is on me, I totally forgot about Tommy Point. But I'm going to bring it back. This is long enough. We completely forgot about it, and now I'm bringing it back. So we're going to end up with Tommy Points. So first, we're going to hit the NBA news. And Larry, Celtics City, the documentary. I know it's just on HBO Max, but the first episode dropped on Monday. I don't know if you saw it or not. I saw it, and I'm going to be honest with you. It wasn't shocking about the Bill Russell stuff and the fact that he had to go through a lot of hardship with the Boston City, but I want to hear your take. Like, how did you feel about the history and the fact that, you know, Bob Cousy was at the top of the world and everything ran through him? Like, how do you feel about that?
I just feel it's about time. I've been seeing a lot of Laker documentaries, and I'm like, where's the Celtics? You know, we have so much history. You know, we're number one. We got the most championships. We're the historic, still making history now, but we are just doing it. And I feel like they got the right people to put it together, and I feel like it's going to be really good. So I'm glad we got our Celtics City, and I can't wait to watch more episodes.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I think this was long overdue. I think that they should have done this probably like back in 2008 when really we like won some championships and we were like on top of the world. But the fact that it came out now, I just feel like it's long overdue. Like there's so much history, and I know they try to gloss over the negative history, which I can understand. It's 2025. It's all about progress, but you have to kind of like touch on that before you can move forward. I'm all about it. I really can't wait for episode 2. I don't know what's in store, but I'm loving it. If you're a Celtics fan, you should be loving it, and it is worth it. Even if you just watch it for like 2 or 3 months and then you cancel your subscription, I'm not going to be mad at you. You're watching the Celtics City documentary. I'm not going to be mad at you. Larry, the next set of news that I got for you is the Dallas Mavericks. Now, when we did the episode before this, we never, in a million years, we never thought that Luka would be traded. Now Irving is hurt. He's out for the year. So what are your thoughts? Like, what are your thoughts overall about the franchise, about the Luka trade, about the Kyrie Irving injury? Like, where are you?
It's like the stages of grief, right? We all kind of went through it. Everyone was in shock. Everyone was watching both teams afterwards and seeing how the players would react, how the fans would react, and it was definitely a shock to both teams. And at this point, you can say that the Lakers have won that trade because the Lakers have been on I think they were maybe fifth, and now they're in second place in the West. Whereas Dallas is about to drop out. They don't have Kyrie Irving, no AD. It's just a complete mess, and they still got two guys that are out before that. I just feel like everyone's going through different stages of grief with this, and realizing this is what it's going to be like. And we had Luka in the playoffs, and now we're going to see Luka in the playoffs just with a different jersey. So it's interesting to see what happens, but people are going to talk about this trade for a long time.
Yeah, and do you think, Larry, that Nico, the GM, should be fired over this?
I would wait to the end of the season. I would wait to the end of the season and give the other GM a chance to start fresh with what's going on. But I wouldn't jump the gun now. Just kind of wait and see how things play out. But we all know what's going to happen. We're just delaying the inevitable.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I know that initially from a report read is that they weren't ready for the backlash. When you trade a top 10-5, guy, and you undermine the whole backlash thing, I think that's a mistake. And I think that, to be honest with you, I think Nico is going to get fired. I think that if you're a Mavs owner and you're like, hey, we put you, what happened? Why did you drop the ball? Fans, it's going to, long term, I think that they're going to have less and less income, which, of course, drives these owners. People are not going to buy Dallas Maverick jerseys. People are not going to buy season tickets to see what? To see AD get hurt? So yeah, this is one for the ages. I really didn't think that in 2025 this was still an option. I didn't think that was possible. And I know that the owner tried to backwalk it a little bit by saying oh, Luka, he doesn't train like he does. He doesn't practice. That's all BS. Come on, that's all BS. You traded a once in a lifetime player to the Lakers, no less. So I am so mad. As a Celtics fan, I am so upset that this was allowed to happen. So I still can't believe it, but at the same time, hey, Lakers fans, rejoice. This is gonna be this Christmas in February. So I don't know what else to say. It was just mind-boggling of that trade. So it is what it is. It is what it is. The other news I want to talk about is the All-Star. What are your thoughts? What can possibly fix the All-Star? What, in your thoughts, what do you think the All-Star needs?
I believe that the All-Star was a mess. I didn't watch it, and not too many people did. But I do have some things that we could do. I did watch the Olympics. I really, really did like that. So we could switch to that format where the U.S. plays the world. I think that would be really good. And then just have Steve Kerr coach it and have him sit JB and JT.
Yeah, I like the idea of having a USA versus the world. That's a good idea. And I also like the idea of having a one-on-one contest. Mano a mano. You are the best player in the NBA against me, the best player in the NBA. I like all those ideas. What happened is And I'll be honest with you, I didn't watch it either. But what happened this past February All-Star was just a mess. It was longer than it should be. It was like the TNT guys saying goodbye for some reason, even though next year they're gonna be back. So it was just terrible. Adam Silver, you need to like fix this. Not as soon as possible. It's not as bad as other sports, but something needs to happen. I was very, very disappointed.
I think they had Kevin Hart in there commentating. Now I don't know what they were doing. It was a mess.
Why? I know he's just a basketball fan, but he's not a basketball savant. I don't get my news from Kevin.
Bring me KG, not Kevin Hart. Wrong Kevin.
Terrible. But you know, I feel like the NBA is just shooting at the wall, and whatever sticks, that's what they're going with, and obviously that's not working. So
we need to start listening to our podcast.
They did. There's so many player podcasts. There's Kevin Garnett. There's Paul Pierce. You can even Paul George has a podcast. There's just so many to choose from. The last thing that I want to end up with, Larry, is the Cooper Flag sweepstakes. Who do you think it's gonna end up with Cooper Flag? Like, I know your prediction right now, we're in like early March, but who do you think has who is the front runner in your opinion?
I mean, a lot of the teams that are in the bottom right now. I mean, I love this new format where you have to have 1 through 10 play really well because at any point they could get into the play-in. So teams are not tanking like they used to. So that bottom 4 is really like that.
Yeah, and I also think that having that play is like it gives an incentive to the teams that are like, hey, you play better, you can actually be in the playoffs. If you actually make an effort, you can actually make the playoffs. So I'm not mad of it. But I think that Philadelphia is shooting for the All-Star break. I think that they're in the mix somehow. I think that Washington is in the mix somehow. I think if you look at the West, I think the Utah Jazz are in the mix, even though they have granted, it is Danny Ainge on the helm, but I like Utah. Pelicans, maybe. They have Zion, so it's like, why are they playing so bad? So I think that there's a possibility for the Pelicans, but I really like everyone else. I like the Hornets, get Cooper Flag. I like Utah Jazz. I mentioned to get him. San Antonio Spurs, because the whole Wemby situation. Do you think that they have a chance? Personally, what's your expectation with this team?
Yeah, I mean, San Antonio made some moves, and we saw the impact right away. We all know they still need like 3 more players to be really in any conversation. But I like the move they made. And
the question was, in your opinion, do you think the San Antonio has a chance?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think any of those bottom 4 teams on both sides have a chance, and it would make an impact. A team like San Antonio is 3 players away from being in the conversation. So if they can get Cooper Flag or any of those rookies in that top 5, it would make a good impact. And it's again, I definitely like the fact that you have more teams that are vying for that play-in, and then the other teams that don't have a shot have something to look forward to as well.
Yeah, I think not only that, but the whole Popovich and he's not 100%. I think that kind of lends to the fact that they're not a good team. I think that it lends to the fact that the head coach is not technically there. So, hey, if they end up with Cooper Flag and Wemby at the end, I'm not mad. I'm not mad at all. I think that San Antonio is a small market, and they need that little extra hump, and I'm not mad at all. I would hate to have Philly get the Cooper Flag sweepstake, but that's neither here or there. I don't want them to get that number one fan. I dislike Philly that much, so I don't want them to get the Cooper Flag. All right, Ron. All right, excuse me. All right, Larry. So let's look at February, because the team actually did well in February. We predicted different outcomes, but I think we were right on the money. Larry, you predicted the team to go 6-5. I predicted the team to go 10-1. They went 8-3. They basically eclipsed what we thought they would do. I mean, fine, they lost 2 games, but I thought that in February there wasn't a real challenge. What are your thoughts? What was the difference in February, in your opinion?
I think in February they were hot right before the All-Star break, and then they were rested after the All-Star break, and that's helped them to get through. Yeah, they got hit with Detroit and Cleveland at the end of the month, but I think those games are pretty competitive. We didn't play those games, I don't think, with full strength guys. I think we still had a KP Drew Holiday issue. But I think we did really well for February. And, my prediction for March is that they're going to just punch a hole in the wall.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that, fine, Detroit is on a hot streak, so they're playing out of their minds. I know that we were short, and when I say we, I said the Boston Celtics were short-staffed with a couple of players that didn't show up for the games due to injury. But I think overall, February went well. I have nothing to be angry about because they showed up. Tatum showed up. Derek White showed up. Even the bench, I'm very critical of the Celtics bench. They even showed up. So, let's keep it going. Let's keep it going into March. And, speaking of March, we have a prediction. Larry, you have them going undefeated for the month of March. Larry, I wish I had that kind of confidence in this team. So why do you think that they're going to go undefeated?
We're getting close to the playoffs. It's time for them to tighten up and lock in. And this is what's going on. And they want to show these teams that we are still the champions. And they're going to come into everyone's building, or they're going to come into our building. And we're gonna just knock these guys out. So we're gonna do this tonight against the Lakers, and that will be 4-0 for this month. And then we're gonna win the next 11 games.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm all for it. I love the confidence for March. I unfortunately have them losing tonight's game against the Lakers. We're recording this at 7:30 on a Saturday. They haven't played the Lakers yet, but I actually went back and I updated my expectation for this team. I have them going 12-3 for the month of March. I think that they lose tonight. I think Luka and LeBron is just too much, especially when I think that they're going to have 2 starters missing. I just don't see it. I also see them losing to OKC, and I also see them losing to Memphis. Memphis is it's a long shot because we don't know if Ja Morant will show up game or not. We just don't know. Sometimes he plays, sometimes he doesn't, but I do expect for them to be dominant the rest of the month. I just don't see them dropping below 12 wins for the month of March. I just don't. Even though they're not playing a full complement of the team, I don't see them just dominating for the month of March. But I like where you're going, Larry. I like the fact that you got them going 50-0. I can't hate on that. I can't hate on that.
Definitely. Yeah, I got in today's game. I got Luka twisting the ankle in the third quarter. Tatum scoring 40. So that's what we got for today.
Yes, that's what we got for today. Larry, who is in your power rank?
My power ranking, I have Cleveland. I got OKC. Here we have Boston, of course, in third. Lakers in fourth. Denver in fifth. Then I got Memphis, Milwaukee, and then I put Detroit in the eighth spot. They've been playing so hard. I wanted to reward them. They just got into the top six, and then I got Golden State at 9. Butler and Steph Curry have been playing really well. Y'all talk more about that and stock up. And then Indiana I put on 10.
Yeah, I much got the first three exactly. I got Cleveland, I got OKC, I got Boston. Even though Boston just beat Denver, Jokic last night, first ever in the history of NBA, 20 rebounds, 20 assists, 30 points. I mean, this dude, Denver, if this guy ever gets hurt, Denver's in trouble because he does everything. And for a big man to do all that, I gotta put him 5. Then I got the Lakers at number 5. The Luka trade was, I think they're like 9-1 in the last 10 games, 8-2, something like that. They're just unbelievable. I got Memphis at number 6. I got the New York Knicks at number 7. I think, even though this is a weak Eastern Conference, I think they can turn it around. Right now, it's projected to face Detroit in the playoffs, so let's see. I have Houston, even though I think that they're fading, but that's just my personal opinion. Ime Udoka hasn't figured out the lineup yet. I think he has too many players, but that's neither here or there. I got Minnesota at number 9. And then I actually got Milwaukee at number 10. I think, listen, I'm not a Doc Rivers fan. I've never was. Back in 2008 when he won it all, I'm still not a Doc Rivers fan. But he can make players play hard. So I'm not going to knock him for that. I got him at number 10. And that's our power ranking. Any of these teams shock you, Larry?
No, I can't even argue with your lineup. I mean, both of them look legit, and these teams are all going to be teams that we're going to be looking at. And again, it's all about the injury bug. Whoever doesn't catch that bug is gonna prevail.
Yeah, I agree. Stock up, Larry. Who is in your stock up?
I am so proud of our big man off the bench. We don't really have a true bench. But we have these 3 big men that come in, and a lot of times they start because KP's not there, and they play really well. Yeah, Horford had a little roller coaster action, but he stepped up big. Luke Cornett has definitely stepped up. I like the way he's moving to the basket. I love the way he's just defending and then being an offensive threat, so they have to look at him. And then even the other big man who doesn't get as much time, he comes in and he'll make a block here and there. So I really do love the big men off the bench. I got Detroit as 2. I have to give Detroit their due. They played hard. No one's really talking about them because of everybody else, but they're doing a really good job. And then I was gonna go with the Lakers for 3, but I said, you know what, they're gonna lose tonight, so I'm gonna go with Curry and how he's been blended with Butler, and he's been playing really well.
Yeah, listen, I 100% agree on the big man off the bench, especially Luke Cornett. I think that when he's in the game, he's actually an offensive weapon. I think that runs that pick and roll to perfection, runs the pop up. Let me block you so you can shoot perfect. I really like, and he gets offensive rebounds. Listen, this guy, he's like a renaissance man. He can do it all. Even on the defensive end, yes. Listen, I'm not going to praise the fact that he plays great defense, but he's a shot blocker, and I'm really amazed. I thought Keda was there to block shots, but Luke Cornett is actually doing his thing on the defensive end. So I'm not mad at it. Listen, all praise go to Brad Stevens because he brought him back. So he saw something in Luke Cornett that was great. And listen, I'm not mad at him. Same thing as you. I have Detroit up there. You know, they're playing their ass off. They're playing defense. They're playing offense. Cam, he's figuring it out. The other players are figuring it out. Beasley off the bench is figuring it out. I like this team, and you know, right now they're in line to face New York Knicks in the playoffs, and I think that's going to be a really, really good series if it happens. But you know, let's see.
Yeah.
And then for my third stock up, I have the Lakers. That Luka trade really, really changed things. Not only to LeBron, because he got liberated. He got, all of a sudden, he started playing defense again. For the 40-year-old man to do all this, that's incredible. And now he has Luka, which, to be honest, he's like a point guard / power forward. I mean, I don't know what Dallas would think, to be honest. I don't know what Dallas was thinking to do this, and to do this to the Lakers. I don't know what it's thinking, but it is working. JJ Redick is doing his thing. I cannot hate on JJ Redick right now. Larry, who is on your stock down?
All right, for my stock down, I have KP because either he's injured or he has an illness. You know, we know he's not playing back-to-backs. We know he's not playing that many games. I know a lot of what we call rest management. So it is what it is. But I do have him as stock down. I do want to see that same kind of that energy that he came in with during the playoffs. Actually, in the finals. That's the energy I'm looking for. Then I have Houston. Houston really, really, I think they're in the 2 spot, and they just plummeled. They just went down. And I think they're in the play-in right now. I don't even know if they're in the top 6. And then New York, I have they just did really well. Brunson was getting. I think Brunson went 3-0, and he was all Eastern Player of the Week. And then all of a sudden, we lose 2 games. We lose Brunson for a couple of weeks. So I got New York as my stock down.
Yeah, Houston right now. If I'm looking at the standings, they're in 5th place right now, but when we did this episode last month, they were in 2nd place. So they have really been like, sinking basically. And then, Knicks are still in 3rd place, but they need to like wake up. They need like a ass kicking to like wake up. Right now they're 500 in the last 10 games. They really need to like wake up and smell the flowers. And I think that they just had like injury to Brunson just recently, so they really need to wake up. But the Eastern Conference is so bad that I don't know if they really need to like get their game going, because it doesn't take a lot to like get in the playoffs. But the way that Tom Thibodeau is playing this team, I'm not surprised that people are just getting hurt left and right. He plays too many minutes for them. So yeah, I totally agree. New York needs to get their act together. As far as my stock down, I'm gonna go with the Celtics bench, and I specifically wrote except Cornet because obviously he's playing it lights out. But I'm really disappointed in Sam Hauser. I'm really disappointed in Pritchard. Not so much the fact that he's an offensive machine when he comes to the bench, but he's a defensive liability. Keda, I don't know. You can use him sparingly, to be honest with you. he's gonna miss some bunny. He's gonna miss some layups that you're like, why are you missing this? But he's a developmental player, so it is what it is. And then, like, if you go deep into the bench, Walsh hasn't been doing what I thought he would be doing in year two. They just got Craig recently. They just got Miles recently, so I'm not gonna evaluate them right now. But the rookie Sherman, I think his name is. I know I'm butchering his last name, but he's been doing okay because he's got the extra minutes. But overall, there was a couple of games that I saw where it was the Celtics bench against the other team starters, and they didn't do too good. Like, they didn't. I guess my expectation is that for the bench to, like, at least hold the leads. If the starters come out the game and you're up 20, 15 points, at least keep the lead going. But that's not been happening, so that's why I have the Celtics bench as a start down. My other one, this is the big one. JB, I don't think that he's playing to his potential. Not like last. I think that he's not really there. There's some shots. Usually, let me rephrase. Compared to last year, Larry, he used to come in first quarter. He'd just be on fire. He'd just be, can't stop me. But lately, it hasn't been that. It's like he's struggling to get his shot. His defense is suspect. That's why I got him on my stock down. I just don't think he's playing full speed or he's playing to his potential. The third stock down I have is Phoenix. That team is a mess. KD is unhappy. Beal is the worst contract in the league, to be honest with you. And, they have a good shooter there. What's his name? I can't think of his name right now. For Phoenix, I feel like he's stuck between a rock and a hard place. Like, I like this team, but then at the same time, I am the Phoenix franchise. Like, what do you think? Like, why is JB struggling this year?
JB, I don't know. He may not be 100%. I know he had some issues injury-wise, and it may be, well enough to play, but I agree with you. The fire's not there. But I was saying the same thing last year about JT. And JT's been playing amazing this year. So, I'm not quite sure what it is. The Celtics bench, and we talked about that so many times. Yes, they're horrible, but I have to give kudos to Cornette and to Pritchard for carrying that bench. You saw the reason why we lost the Cleveland game was because the Cleveland bench just outdid us, and the starters could not keep up, with everything. So I just think that overall, the Celtics will figure it out. We're only going to run maybe about 8 guys anyway when it comes to playoff time, and we all know who those 8 are going to be. Phoenix, I really thought that Durant was going to get traded before the trade deadline. Phoenix is just dead in the water at this point. We thought that was going to be an ultimate power team, and we said the same thing about the Clippers. A couple years back when they had Paul George. But this is where we're at. This is the reality you got to deal with. Not every team's going to get their shot, and some teams just won't gel together. But I don't disagree with your stock down at all. That's a good 3 pick.
Yeah, and who I was talking about with the Phoenix Suns was Devin Booker. Okay. He right now he was in the Summer Olympics where he did okay, but $49 million a year. This dude is the face of the franchise, but he has 2 teammates that they're not. One is Beal, which he's not really giving. He just went there for a paycheck, let's be honest. And then you have KD, which whenever he's unhappy, he lets the press know, he lets the teammates know, he lets the coaches know. He's kind of toxic, to be honest with you. The next thing is Tommy points. I'm bringing it back, Larry. Who is in your Tommy point?
to represent Talby points after a hiatus, I'm going with D. White. He's been just hitting those threes. He's been doing everything you need him to do. He does his little blocks here and there, and he's just amazing. He deserves a time point, and then he'll even lose teeth and come back in when he doesn't really need to. That's D. White for you.
Yeah, I same thing. I gotta go to Derek White because if there's anybody that it's a trooper, but anybody that just refuses to come out the game is Derek White. And the other night JT had a night off, which is very rare. But D. White, he represented. Him and Pritchard just hit 3-pointers and blew Detroit away. So listen, my hat's off to Derek White. He's in there battling night in and night out. This guy is truly the heart of the team. I know that JT and JB, they're kind of the 1 and 2 punch, but to be honest, is Derek White. Derek White is the one that actually puts on the cape and just goes out and plays. I know there's a couple of games where he had some brain farts, but that can be overlooked. I think that he plays really, really well. I have, much respect to Derek White. Okay, so in 45 minutes, the Celtics play the Lakers. You have him winning. I have him losing. I am 100%. I hope that I'm wrong, but I think Luka and LeBron might be too much. What overall for the rest of the month? What's your expectation?
I still think the Celtics are going to play strong. I think they're just, Tatum gets up really big for these LeBron and Laker games. So I think he's going to play hard, and that's going to be enough to carry us over. And then remainder of March, we have some tough games because we have OKC, and it looks like, Memphis. That's it. Really, there's really nothing else in our way. So we should be able to run right through that and have another good record for the month.
So do you think that Cleveland hangs up to the number 1 seed, or you think Boston has a chance?
Cleveland's going to take this number 1 seed. They deserve it. They've been playing hard. I think they need something like that to celebrate because they're not going to win the championship.
So you, in your estimation, it's going to be Cleveland and Boston for the Eastern Conference Championship.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I think a lot has to happen between now and June for them to not have Cleveland and Boston as number 1 and 2 to make it to the end. I know that right now a lot of people are riding Cleveland's butt right now, and they're saying, "Oh, they're gonna win the championship." I'm talking about Charles Barkley right now, but I know that there's other people in the media that are just like, "Oh, Cleveland is gonna take this." Are you scared of Cleveland at all?
In a 1-game series, Cleveland is the best team. But in a 7-game series, Boston is your better team.
I agree. If I look at Cleveland, I don't know if they have the same bench. I know that we were just talking about how much the Celtics bench is not really pulling the strings, but if I think about like really bad benches, I'm not scared of Cleveland bench at all. I'm not at all. Like who else? Who do they got that you put fear in your heart? I don't know. What do you think is coming out the West?
I'm going to say OKC is going to be in the West. I don't know who they're going to play in the finals, in the Western Finals. It could be the Lakers. Lakers, I think, or it could be Denver. It could be Memphis. So I'm not sure exactly, who would be there, but definitely OKC will be in the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, I like OKC. I think that, Shea Gildas, I think that you can play like a box and one with Shea. I think that if you X them out the game, they really don't have a number 2. And that's my only concern with OKC. But, like you said, it could be Denver, it could be Memphis. Heck, it could be the Lakers. I don't know. Because really, Minnesota hasn't shown anything, to be honest with you. I don't fear them like I did last year, where and I definitely don't fear Dallas. I definitely don't fear Sacramento. I just don't. Other than OKC and maybe the Lakers, I don't fear anybody there. I don't know if Denver can get it together by the time that June rolls around. So we'll put it there. The next episode will be in April. We're gonna see, Larry, if your prediction is correct. Hopefully it is. Do you want to say anything to the Celtics fans out there?
Keep watching Celtics City and keep rooting on our Celtics. We're about to make a big run here, and we're going to try to do this repeat, guys.
Listen, it is really hard to win back-to-back championship. This team has the DNA to do it. I'm confident that the team can do it. I'm in agreement with you. Watch Celtics City. I think this is if the first episode is anything like the rest of the episode, this is great. But it's March. Turn the clock. It's time to get serious about this the rest of the season. So, having said all that, I'm gonna say peace out.
Peace out.
Peace. All right, Larry. Again, thank you. I know that I got Vaseline over here on my shoulder. I should have put that down. Yeah,
on your screen like me.
So we'll talk. We'll see how tonight's game goes. So we'll see how it goes.
Got it.
Say hi to the family for me.
I will. You same. Have a great one, man.
All right, peace. Hi guys, thank you for listening to this episode, Chasing Dino's podcast. If you have any concerns or questions, feel free to email us at simsportsmedia@gmail.com. And please subscribe to this channel, this page, whatever it is, platform that you listen. Peace.